Then, hold on, I'm gonna put a paper towel here. Once you are done using the bristle on your hand, then you use the sponge on the rest of your arms to go back up. Throw your sponge in the trash, and then as we rinse off, you want to let the water drip down to your elbows and run off your elbows there. You want to keep your elbows up so their water's dripping into the sink. If you're going to go into the OR like this and get an actual blue towel to dry off with, when you start drying off, what you want to do is use the inside here, and then when you switch, you want to take your hand and come and use the other side, so that way you're not drying it off dirty. I did say earlier dirty water here. We know it's not dirty, it's just not sterile. So for clarification. But the way we like to scrub in is drying off really well. And what you can do is even do this part way before the case gets started, just while the room's still getting ready, so you're nice and dry. And then after that point, then we have this surgical hand antiseptic here. Some places have Avogard, which has a little bit of lotion in it if you like that. It's empty. Well, we're gonna pretend today. Oh, here we go, we got a couple of them. So you're gonna start by getting your fingers there. Get your fingertips, and then just like you're applying lotion, go ahead and apply it all over your hands here. You do need to make sure that this dries off before you go scrub in. So whether you're going in wet or going in dry, your hands need to be dry to fit into the gloves. Once we approach the OR, you want to use your back, you can use your foot, anything that's not your hands. And you're gonna come in by keeping your hands out like this. If you wanna touch like that, that's okay, but keep your hands out and away from your chest. You don't wanna contaminate your hands. If you walk into an OR and there's nothing opened up yet, if you don't have the gloves and the gowns open here, then the room's not sterile, so don't go in sterile. You're way too early for that. Wait until they open up before you actually go in sterile. Once you're ready to scrub in, we're gonna come over here. And this is, we're assuming this white area is sterile, so we can open this up. If you want to have one set of gloves ready. When you grab your gown, you can actually grab it off the sterile table. Just push down with your thumb to kind of lift it up a little bit, and that way you're not actually diving in and touching the table here, but you can still grab it here. There are two little slots on the side. Put your hands into those slots and let the gown drop down on its own. Step forward here.
One important thing with that is make sure that as you are opening up your gown, there's nothing else around you. So this little mayo stand was close by him. He needs to step away, making sure that as soon as that gown opens, it doesn't have the potential to swing and to touch anything around it.
Additionally, once we start putting our own gown on, what you don't want to do is come way out with your arms or way up with your arms and hit anything. You want to make sure that you're coming as in a controlled environment as you can. You can even pull a little bit because anything on here is sterile.
So now that he needs tied up, this is something that you will be as a student responsible for doing in a lot of OR situations. I need to make sure he's tied. I'm going to make sure I only come from inside and inside the gown. I'm going to pull it up so that it's up around the neck like it should be. I'm still trying to stay only inside. Velcro on the back, knowing that sometimes we have that thyroid shield from lead, so accounting for that width. Make sure that's nice and secure. Back of him is not sterile. So rest of it here. This tie goes around to the front of him, and this tie is hooked onto one of the paper cards that holds the front tie. Don't grab this and pull this. This does not go to this. This tie back here, again from inside, ties back here. Don't tie it in a knot for them. Be nice. Just tie it in a bow. So once that's tied, we can straighten this up a little bit. Make sure that the gown is all the way down. And then he's set to go.
When you're gloving yourself, you can keep your hands in the blue section here. As soon as your hands go through, for a demo, as soon as your hands go through the white area here, you cannot pull them back in. So keep your hands within this area, and as you're putting your gloves on, they go into the white area, but anything out can't go back in. You either have one open, or you can grab your gloves and through the blue section of your sleeves, you can open them yourself. One easy way to remember this is if you take the thumb and put it to your thumb and then fingers down, so thumb to thumb and fingers down, you're going to pinch the collar of the glove right here, and you can pinch it through the white section because it's about to go over. So after you go thumb to thumb and fingers down, pinch and fold over to get your hand inside, and then you're gonna pull it. And if you have a situation where your fingers are too far into the sleeve still, you can pull back here to allow them to come into the glove in a more comfortable situation. Once you have one free hand, it's a lot easier to do the second one. The same thing, thumb to thumb, fingers down, and fold it over, and then you pull. After that point, you can then slide on your second gloves much more easily. If towards the end of the case, your outer gloves are dirty, or if something happens and you just need to change your outer gloves during the case, you can remove them by pulling here and pulling off that way, and then you can put on the dressing with a clean hand underneath there. We're gonna go over now, once we're actually gloved in, one hand on each side here, and it comes with a little nice color and description of assistant grasp here.
So I am not sterile. I will only touch the purple portion of this index card. So I'm gonna touch this, and I'm not gonna lightly touch it. I'm gonna grip it and hold on to it because I don't know how fast he is going to spin around.
And you're gonna spin towards the empty side here. So spin away from the string that you have still attached. And then you're gonna grab the string.
And I'm not letting go until I see that he grabbed that string.
And then we're gonna tie. Now, if we didn't have good choreography here, and you accidentally dropped your strap down like this, what ends up happening is you don't need to ungown completely. We don't wanna waste all that PPE. So you can let go of your second strap, and somebody can come and tie you up back there. So then at the end of the case, when it's time to get outside of, or out of all of your gown and your gloves here, the easiest way of doing it is we know that what's tied up is on the side. So take your thumb and slide it in and pull off and break there. And then the other area that's tied up is still in the center in the back. So pull right through there and then pull forward, and you can get it off in one piece. When you do this as well, you can kind of ball your gown up so you're keeping everything inside of it. And then when you take your gloves off, you can keep all your gloves inside there too, so you don't get anything on your hands. Same thing here, and you're just exposing the inside of your glove in there. So really you have everything from the case internally here, and you're not gonna get it on your hands, and you can throw it in the regular trash.